You talk about women desiring equity and submission.
Mhm.
Okay, unpack that for our audience.
Yeah. Um, that's a big, big thing. Okay, so when I was writing this book, and I have the pleasure at Focus, I talked to a lot of journalists and a lot of secular journalists. And I imagine, the journalist from like The Atlantic that I'm talking to on the phone. She's a powerful woman. She is successful in her career. She's incredibly well educated. I work with academics as well, and you're talking to this woman and she's a PhD anthropologist and she's rocking the world in her career. And a lot of these professionals that I was talking to while I was writing the book, I said, "Hey, I'm researching a book and I have a question. Answer this or respond to this. A woman is looking for somebody to protect and take care of her. True or false?" And I anticipated the more feminist type women would like react so negatively to that. But they would go, "You know what? That's exactly what we're looking for." And it's not because they're weak. It's not because they're not capable. It's because the feminine nature is to lean into a man and to be, again, protected by a man, to be comforted by a man, to be covered by a man. We talk about, in the Christian community, like a man covers the woman, and we think, oh, the sweet little woman who can't do it for herself. Like, no, it's a sense of protection. And what do you
Mm,
do? What do you protect? You protect things that are precious. You
mm,
protect things that are valuable. You protect things that are worth protecting. And so, what the woman is saying is she's saying, I'm worthy of that. I want that. I need that. And it is interesting that you see women like this. They're out in the world. I mean, like, from all intents and purposes, they don't need a man. They have a successful career. They're earning money. They have reputation. They have prestige. But when they go home at night by themselves, they wish they had a good man, strong man, a confident man, a masculine man that they can lean into and feel like they're being covered by
mm.
that man. And our crazy gender politics mix all that up. But when you try to listen to the quietness of the female heart, they'll be really quite honest with you about that. And it's a remarkable thing.
Yeah, and I think this is again where modern feminism tells us women that that desire that you're talking about is a weakness in us and
Hmm.
it's a bad thing. And
Yeah.
so we're supposed to push it off and we're supposed to have this tough exterior that, oh, I don't need anyone else, when in
Hmm.
reality men and women need each other.
Yeah.
And so culture wise, you can see it's just this from the secular view, oh, that means you're weak and you
Hmm.
should fight against that women, that desire for that. And then I think in the church sometimes too, I mean, sadly, I've heard that that kind of desire, or even this, that the man covers, you said. And I loved how
Hmm.
you described that, Glenn, that's because again of some kind of weakness in women. Like we're more apt to sin or deception or whatever it is. And so
Right.
it's like we need men because there's something wrong with us. And
Hmm.
and so even that men do that comes out of that something's wrong with us. Do you
Yeah.
get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's, I mean, that's a satanic kind of thing, is to
Mm.
take our strengths and to turn them into weaknesses. To say that gifts that God gave us are something that we need to shun and bury and not appreciate. Just like the man who comes along and protects the woman, his wife, and the daughters that he loves, and if he asserts himself, oh, that's toxic masculinity. Like, no, that's him stepping up and loving and caring and protecting the people that he loves most. And the woman finding a comfort in that. You know
Mm.
what? She can take the trash out. She can cut the grass. She can she can technically change the oil in the car and do all that stuff. But
Mhm.
to have somebody who comes in and does it for her so that she
Mm.
doesn't have to worry about those things, she finds a comfort in that. She finds a rest in that, and she finds a sense of dignity and significance in that, and that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got a chapter on what girls really need.
Hmm.
Now, there's too much to unpack, in the
Yeah.
remaining time of our interview here, but give us an overview on this. Moms and dads are listening, pastors are listening. What, in kind of a more general sense, do we need to think about in terms of the needs of our girls as we raise them?
Well, first to see them as girls and to think about what they need. But I mean, even I say this, I'm like a little hesitant to even say this because it's just not what we say in society today. But dads, your little girls need to know that they have your heart and that they are beautiful. And do not highlight necessarily like what they're wearing. I remember with my little girls, I thought they were most beautiful when they were just like wearing jeans and an Old Navy t-shirt and their Converse tennis shoes. I'm like, "Oh, you look so beautiful today." They're like, "My hair's not even fixed." And I'm like, "No, it's you that looks beautiful. You are
Mhm.
amazing." And to help them see that you know what, you're not beautiful because of the clothes that you're wearing or the hair or the how much time went into fixing yourself up. Women get into that, but men can say like, no, like I just see a real genuine beauty in you, and it's not just because you're my daughter or it's not just because you're my wife. Like, I see this in you. And so to be able to call that out, but then also to be able to call out the confidence in them and to say, I see you as brilliant. I see you as smart. I saw you arguing with somebody and you made a little turn in your argument and like you won the argument there because you're smart, you're brilliant, and you're a brilliant girl. Link those two things together, or you're strong. Not strong in like a guy way, but you're strong in, um, again, look how you turned that argument, or look how you changed that situation, or look how you came to the aid of somebody else. I like your strength. I like your strength.
Mm.
And that's a feminine strength that is worthwhile. The other is a modesty. We always have to recognize that males and females are both modest, but modesty is a uniquely feminine trait, and we need to protect the modesty of our girls. And that's why the travesty of opening girls' changing rooms and locker rooms to
Mm.
guys who think they're girls is like really literally demonic
Mm.
because it makes the woman say your inborn sense of modesty is silly and ridiculous, and we are not going to honor that, and we need
Mm.
to honor that.
Yeah, and women understand that. I'm thinking about, and I know Glenn, I've heard you talk about J.K. Rowling and how
Mhm.
she's been so now outspoken about the transgender stuff. And she's talked about how she's evolved in her thinking on this. Part of it is because of the abuse she experienced
Mhm.
in her first marriage. But when she was all for, okay, yeah, people do whatever you want. But when they started allowing men into women's spaces,
Yeah.
what J.K. Rowling started to feel is what every woman hearing my voice knows is we realize that is so vulnerable. That is a
Mhm.
vulnerable place for us.
Yeah.
And for J.K. Rowling, she says, that's it. I'm
Mhm.
I don't want that. And that's exactly what you're talking about and why men and women need to speak out against this, but that the modesty, the vulnerability that we feel, every woman knows what you're talking about and
Yeah.
it makes complete sense to us.
And it's interesting bringing up J.K. Rowling. I mean, if we remember what was it that triggered her, that set her off, and it was a World Health Organization or some health organization put out this thing, and it referred to people who menstruate.
Mm.
And she's like, "People who menstruate, there used to be a word for that. Somebody help me." And what she was reacting to is, do not take my unique femininity away from her. And what's
Mm.
ironic about that is she was boss masculine in that,
Mhm.
but she did it in a feminine way. She's like,
Mm.
"Listen, it's done. I'm not taking crap from anybody. Do not take my femininity away from me." And there are a lot of men who can learn a lesson from her, that they should have stood up
Mm.
and started speaking out on behalf of women. But that's what we're seeing. And that's the reaction to this erasure. It's an
Mhm.
erasure of the feminine. It's an erasure of womanhood today that we like so need to fight against.